Hello, my name's Christopher Anatra. You know me as the Quantum Businessman. Welcome to this series of videos I've titled Symphony of Realities. I will be your conductor, as each of these videos or acts are interconnected like a symphony to help you understand how reality and your consciousness work within our holographic universe. This symphony of knowledge will cover such topics as Mandela effects, time-traveling babies, time cops. Who do you think is watching out for the time-traveling babies? The Tartarian Empire, timeline insertions, the Titanic, human version 8.0, and so much more. I'm also writing and working on a book titled Symphony of Realities, where the information I'm presenting here will be provided with more in-depth details. There is so much information to bring to you, and I'm so excited and passionate to be your conductor as we navigate timelines to the golden timeline. And now, our symphony, as do all symphonies, begins with the opening sonata, or in this case, the opening Anatra, because it begins with the story of who I am. Who is Christopher Anatra? Who is the Quantum Businessman? Let's start with three things that you do probably know if you've watched my other videos. Number one, I'm a computer software company CEO whose company creates software for managing food distribution. Number two, starting around 2017, I began to notice Mandela effects that were affecting my clients. For example, the spelling of Hass avocados, which has now always been Hass, H-A-S-S. Or do you remember a product named Stouffer's Stovetop Stuffing, like many of my clients? Well, it's never existed. It's always been Kraft Stovetop Stuffing since it was introduced in 1971. So what's going on? Number three, I created a video in 2019 to explain the phenomena of the Mandela effect and how it was affecting my client's business. That video got over 50,000 views very quickly, raised a lot of questions, and inspired me to create more videos about this subject. I'll leave a link to this original video I created in the description area below. Now here's something you probably didn't know about me. I was born and raised in the religious cult known as Jehovah's Witnesses. And I was a really good Jehovah's Witness. I led a super boring Jehovah's Witness life. I read the Bible every day, knocking on strangers' doors on the weekends. In my 20s, I was traveling around giving one-hour talks to other Jehovah's Witnesses, but something didn't feel right. When I was in my mid-30s, I was officially excommunicated by them. They call it disfellowshipping, and I was shunned by Jehovah's Witness family and friends. Why was I excommunicated? For asking questions. I told them, you can't excommunicate me for asking questions. They said, yes, we can, when you ask the wrong questions. In my situation, the questions that I raised was concerning the black magic occult symbology secretly hidden throughout their magazines and books. Why would a Christian religion be involved with the occult? After this happened, I woke up to the importance of questioning everything. By the way, if you're watching this and you're a Jehovah's Witness, my advice is to get out. Don't let their practice of shunning put you in fear. Stand up for yourself, because an amazing world is on the horizon that has nothing to do with them or any other religion or anything man-made. And just look at the Mandela effects of the Bible. The Bible is changing right before your eyes. Listen to your inner knowing. For example, do you honestly always remember Isaiah chapter 11, verse 6, always saying, the wolf will dwell with the lamb? Or do you remember it like myself, where the King James Version says, the lion will lie down with the lamb? And how many other countless scriptures that you've memorized have changed? Your internal alarm clock is ringing off the hook. It's time to wake up. This advice isn't just focused on the Jehovah's Witness religion, but any religion or government or any construct that controls you via fear. You must eliminate from your life. Fear is used by the weak to attempt to control the strong. By the way, just to make it clear, I am for the Christ consciousness, but not for any organized religion claiming that. After I left that religion, I focused exclusively on my business, making new friends and enjoying life. And then wham! Starting around 2016, I began to have a profound awakening that involved the Mandela effect. I began getting downloads of information about things that I couldn't possibly know. I began to see through the veil of what this reality actually is. To understand that we are in a hologram where we have been put into a dream sleep. We have essentially been hypnotized that this reality is all there is by an intelligence like the Matrix that lives off our consciousness energy. They actually get high off our misery. But wait, more on that subject later. One last thing I'll tell you about myself. I am a hologram. I am consciousness existing within the container of a human hard light DNA dreaming body. Let me repeat that. I am consciousness existing within the container of a human hard light DNA dreaming body. I know this sounds strange, but I am a hologram within a hologram. I am made up of trillions of compressed pixels of light. That's how I'm rendered in the hologram. Sounds like software, right? So you can better understand this, think of each cell in your body as a pixel of light. Each of these cells is powered and lit up by your mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. Every day, every hour, every second, your cells or pixels of light are dividing and making new cells in a flash of light, an ever-changing hologram as our X, Y, and Z coordinates update and we move through space and time. Trillions of pixels manifest as trillions of cells in your body to create this hologram that you know as the quantum businessman. And guess what? So are you. I'm a hologram talking to a hologram. Really? Yes. Even your cat Fluffy or your dog Buddy, they're holograms too. And we're all lucid dreaming together. What do you think about that? Does it sound crazy? After all, if true, shouldn't we have been taught that in school, or by science, or by the religions of this world? We should have, if they really wanted us to know. But then that would make us uncontrollable, and they can't have that. Now you might be thinking, does science have anything to say about all this? What facts do I have to back any of this up? Science does in fact provide us with two important clues. Number one, the atom. The atom is composed of 99.9999999999996% empty space. We are made up of atoms along with everything else around us. We are in a holographic universe. And just like a hologram is composed of light, we experience ourselves and the world around us via a technology called hard light. Hard light and soft light technology makes this experience seem real. It's an amazing technology that can fool the best of the best, because haven't even you been fooled? I certainly was. And it's easy to be tricked because when you're born, we experience forced amnesia. We come into this world thinking this life is all there is. Number two, the second scientific clue is the famous double slit experiment. If you're unfamiliar with the double slit experiment, I'll provide some links below and you can research it for yourself. It actually goes back to Isaac Newton, so it's nothing new. To put it simply, an electron would change its behavior based upon whether it was observed or not. It showed that the observer, you, is not a passive subject, but an active participant with the power to change the outcome of an event. In other words, you are lucid dreaming right now, and our consciousness creates reality. To summarize both these clues, you are more than 1 trillion compressed pixels of human hard light DNA within a hologram of light, having an experience which you think is real. You are software. Who you calling software? You are software with your own source code blueprint, which is rendering you in time and space at an exact X, Y, and Z coordinate. The X and Y represent your physical location within the hologram, whereas the Z coordinate is your exact location in time. And by the way, time and space don't actually exist, but that's another video. You might be thinking, whoa, quantum businessman, I feel pretty real. And that's exactly the point. Because if this experience didn't seem true and authentic and real, it would have no value. But guess what? If we are observant, we have clues all around us that we are in a hologram. This is the phenomenon known as the Mandela effect. And most likely, it is the Mandela effect which has brought you to this video series. Because I could talk to you all day about holograms and reality and hard light DNA, but unless you experience something so shocking and so personal as the Mandela effect, you might think I'm just talking about some theory about reality and consciousness. The Mandela effect exposes the hologram. They are glitches in the matrix which expose the hologram. I liken the Mandela effect to Easter eggs in a video game. They are hints and wonderful surprises that we have experienced a timeline shift. Because after all, if this experience was real, there would not be Mandela effects. Mandela effects can be caused by merging timelines, timeline insertions, and even time travel. What all of this represents is a true symphony of realities. And now that we've finished with the introductions, get ready, because our symphony is about to begin. A symphony made of energy, frequency, and vibration. A symphony which will begin in an unexpected way. We are going to bake a cake, a conspiracy cake, made when timelines collapse and merge, and it will taste delicious. You're going to want a bite of this cake. But before I end this opening sonata, I want to tell you one more personal thing about myself. In the late 1990s, I watched a movie that inspired me to change my life. My life in that religion was very unhappy. I was sad and often felt frustrated. I always longed for more. I wanted to experience more out of life, but because of all the restrictions, I felt helpless to live the life that I wanted. Doubts were building up about their teachings. I was in fear of leaving and being shunned by my friends and family. I then watched a movie that gave me the inspiration to stand up for myself. That movie was Titanic, and the character of inspiration was Rose. Do you remember Rose? She was engaged to a man that she did not love, but she knew if she married him, she and her mother would have an easier life and get out of debt. But she met Jack, fell in love with him, and he encouraged her not to settle and to live her dreams. Later, when Jack drowned and she made it back safely to New York, she changed her name and was able to avoid the arranged marriage. She went on to live her dreams, including becoming an airplane pilot. She was brave and had an adventure of a life. Watching that movie was perfect timing for me to begin my transition from an old way of living which just felt wrong. Now, I mention this movie for another reason also. That's because the Titanic is the major part of the conspiracy cake. Are you curious to find out more? Get ready, relax, and prepare to have your consciousness expanded as we begin Act 1, Conspiracy Cake.